If you own a car or a house and you and your spouse or partner are both on the mortgage or on the note, is it possible for you or the court to force them to refinance that note? Kinda. I mean, there's options, and let's talk about them. I'm Kate Bihm. I'm a family lawyer practicing in Montgomery County, Texas. I'm a lawyer, not your lawyer. This is just for public information purposes. And I get these questions a lot, even at, cocktail parties or when I'm socializing with friends. But this is one of the most common questions that we get in our consultations with new clients. First and foremost, the most important thing for you to understand is that the court lacks the authority to order a bank or other financial institution to offer your partner financing. So to the extent that we have a court order for refinancing, that's kind of not a thing, at least where I practice. So generally speaking, what typically happens is that there will be an agreement that the asset, either a house or a car, will be refinanced. And if it's not refinanced within a certain period of time, then the asset will be sold. That's really the most common thing that happens. Now, oftentimes, especially in today's world, you might have a couple that finance their house at 2.25%, a fantastic mortgage rate. And refinancing the house is going to cost a lot of money because the new interest rate is going to be 7.5%. And so it may be that as part of your settlement negotiations, you might try to give up something in the settlement negotiations in exchange for not having to do the refi because you've got an interest rate. But there are also circumstances where, for real specific reasons, one of the parties will insist upon a house being refinanced. And if you want to keep the asset in your divorce, and you don't settle, you're going to need to go to court with some realistic plan for how you're going to make the payments, how the other party is going to feel comfortable about the fact that you're not going to completely ruin their credit by failing to make the payments, and maybe even propose some creative measures whereby if you stop making the payments, they can swoop in and start making the payments and protect their own credit. What I think is important as part of your strategy is that you provide the court with some solutions to that problem that aren't simply that it gets sold and the proceeds from the sale distributed. This is going to be especially important when you have something like a car that you may be upside down on, that neither of you can afford to take the money that you would need to pay off the note. And plus, you don't want to have to go buy a new car. So these are just some considerations that you might have in the division of property in your divorce. And that answer of whether the court can force someone to refinance is probably one of the biggest questions I get in my practice. Again, I'm Kate Bihm, family lawyer in Montgomery County, Texas. I'm a lawyer, not your lawyer. This is just for public information purposes. Good luck in court.